Over the years, I've spent a lot of time experimenting with the best way to manage all of the things that I need to do. And maybe you can relate. If you have a job that requires any sort of regular recurring task, but also has a lot of random one off things thrown at you, then I think you know how hard it can be to stay on top of everything. I've been making podcasts for nearly 8 years now, and for a lot of that time, there have been multiple shows on my plate. At the moment, I'm overseeing the creation and publication of 10 with another 2 in early development, and most of those come with weekly tasks that I have to take care of. Before my podcast days, though, I ran a design business for close to a decade. Lots and lots of individual client projects constantly coming and going. It was a lot to keep track of, so I had to get good at task management pretty quickly. So, after all of that experience, here's what I've boiled my personal needs down to when it comes to managing all of these responsibilities. And before I dive in, let me acknowledge that your needs might be very different, and that means that my perfect solution won't be perfect for you. But if you think of these as just slices of a pie chart, then you can enlarge one and shrink another to customize it to your specific work life. So first up, the digital side of things. Now, I run my tasks in a hybrid method using paper and devices, but let's start with the digital stuff. What I've learned is that I need an easy to use task app for anything that is mission critical. Maybe you have weekly tasks that other people depend on. Meal prep for a sick family member, planning your weekly D&D campaign, producing a video or a podcast episode. Things that, if you dropped the ball, people would be disappointed. For those things, I use an app to make sure that I never ever forget. My personal favorite is an app called Todoist, but there are a ton of other great options out there. The key, though, is finding an app that exists on all of your devices, your phone, your tablet, your computer, even web versions. That way, no matter where you are, you can always access your list. The other key is making sure that the app can handle repeating tasks. I bet you that roughly 80% of my Todoist app right now is currently recurring tasks, things that need to be done over and over again. And because it's all mission critical stuff, I let the app be my brain and remind me because I'm human and humans make mistakes. Okay, that's the digital side of things, but I also use pen and paper. But before I describe my system, I need to explain why I do it this way. First, I bet most of you have been overwhelmed before. You sit down at your computer in the morning, ready to dive in, but you're already feeling like you have too much to do. And then 4 more emails come in with new items for your list. Feeling overwhelmed is a natural response to not knowing when you could possibly get all of those things done. And not knowing when is a symptom of bad time awareness. And look, there are only so many hours in the day, right? Me, I'm at my desk from about 6:45 in the morning until 5:30 in the evening. But those hours disappear quickly, eaten up by task after task. But what I've learned over the years is that I will always feel a lot less overwhelmed if I know exactly what is possible each day and then spread out the big chunks across my week. So what I've created for myself is a paper system using a monthly calendar and some sticky notes. For each month, I will take little strips of sticky notes that you can buy super cheap online, and I'll take those and I will trim them to fit the width of a single day on the calendar. And then I write one task on each note and stick it to the day that I plan to do it. I pick the day based on a weekly rhythm, but you might pick the day based on your travel schedule or the availability of other team members. The key here, though, is to pick a day and stick that label over it. As you noticed, I use a bunch of different colors, and for me, each color represents a different type of project. I have colors for writing, recording, producing, filming, among other things. And that way, at a glance, I can tell what I'm going to be doing. And I use sticky notes because sometimes I need to push a task out another day or two. When the planets align right, I might actually be able to move one that's further out closer to today. Being sticky means it's reusable, which means I can move them around. And then when I'm done with all of these major tasks, I just pull the sticky note off the calendar and place it along one side, over on one of the weekend days. And if you're the sort of person who absolutely loves checking items off of a list, I know you're going to love watching that column of completed sticky notes grow as the month goes on. One last thing, where you keep this list is pretty important. For a long while, I actually taped mine to the wall beside my desk. It was always there, all those bright colors standing out and catching my attention. A few months ago, though, I actually had some custom calendar pages printed for a small disc-bound notebook, which allows me to take my calendar on the road if I need to. What matters most, though, is that you see it all the time. Don't hide it. Don't bury it under invoices or junk mail. Keep it in front of you, front and center, and use it like a paper dashboard. And once you have it in place, you're better equipped to handle those extra tasks that get thrown at you. With just a glance, you can see which day is more open and free for new things, or what sort of adjustments you can make to the week to get those new urgent things completed on time. I really hope that this walkthrough of my personal system helps spark some ideas for you. If you have questions, drop them in the comments below. And if this was a kick in the pants that you needed to level up your to-do game, give this video a thumbs up and share it with a friend or a coworker. As always, I'm on Twitter and Instagram at @Mahnke, and you can learn more about me, my projects, and upcoming news over at aaronmahnke.com. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Peace.